Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'm Tina Carini at spongeandstamp.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the US. So today I have this really pretty card here to show you guys how I created it. On Monday's video, I told you guys that I had something planned with this piece of designer series paper, and I put it all together and I couldn't wait to share it with you guys. So here it is. They are lovebirds and they look a lot like a lovebird that we had that went on to birdie heaven. His name was Pokey and he was so sweet, but that's what he kind of sort of looked like. I think he had a little less red in him, no pink, but we had to go along with the colors in the designer series paper, right? So I had to add just a little extra, but he did have the pretty teal and the yellows and the greens, and he did have red on top of his head. But anyway, so enough of that. You weren't here to hear about our Pokey. You want to see how to create this card. So we used the Free as a Bird stamp set, and I also used the Stamparatus to do a little mirror imaging. And I want to check and make sure I am in the screen here. So I'm going to show you how I did that. It's really easy. So you need your Stamparatus. Also, a silicone mat works beautifully. You can use your acetate sheets, and I've even seen some do the photopolymer stamps, like the big large ones. They've used the back of those, but this works the best, so that's what we're going to use. So I already have our bird lined up, but how I did that was I took a piece of cardstock that this measures, I think it's 5 1/4 by 4, and I took our Be Mine stitched framelits, and I took these two sizes right here, and I cut out the heart and did the stitch framing, not on this piece of paper, but I cut out the heart using the large one, and the scallop part cuts off, so it's its own separate piece. So it's really cool how it works. I hope that makes sense to you. But so then I put that down right where I wanted it on my cardstock, so that I knew that once my birds were stamped and I was ready to die cut, that I could fit the die cut onto the paper. But as I was working with that, I found that it was a little bit easier for me just to go ahead and die cut out my heart, and then I don't have to worry about it. It's already done. I know it's going to stamp right in the right place because I already have it there. So I just line up my heart with the heart that's below, and I know that I am good to go and I am ready. So let's go ahead and bring in our Memento Tuxedo Black ink, because we're going to be using our alcohol markers, our Stampin' Blends, to color. So I just ink that up. I'm going to bring it down and give it a nice little press, and that looks pretty good. So now I am going to move this to the side, making sure that my silicone mat is still in place, and then I'm going to ink up my bird again, and I'm probably going to do it twice just to make sure that I have enough ink on my little mat here. And one more time. And I'm trying not to push too hard because I don't want the lines to be fat and distorted, which could happen. So I'm just being careful, but I want to make sure that I have enough ink on there. Okay, so that looks good. So now I'm going to take my cardstock here, flip it upside down, carefully line it up to the sides and in the corner, and lay it down, and then just give it a nice rub. Now I can bring this down and just give it a nice little push, and then bring that up, carefully lift our card, and there we go. There's our bird. Oh no, I forgot my anniversary was down there, so we're going to go ahead and go with it. Maybe it's so light that we won't be able to tell, but I think it's stamped in a mirror image. So we're going to go with it because I'm going to tell you guys, this is the second time I've done this video because my first one, I got all the way through it, went to go load it up, and it wasn't there. So we have to do it again. It's okay. Those things happen sometimes. There we go. You can't tell, can you? That is perfect. And I'm very happy with that. So I'm just going to carefully lift that off. We're done with our Stamparatus. So I'm going to move that to the side. If you guys don't have a Stamparatus, oh, you need to get one because they are awesome, especially if you're like me and you don't see straight, so therefore you don't put anything straight, you don't cut straight, and you don't stamp straight. So they're awesome. And then to do little cute techniques like this, you kind of need it. So I'm going to start off with some light Calypso Coral, my Stampin' Blend, and I'm just going to carefully color around. I'm going to leave like a little circle around the eye because you know that lovebirds, they have that circle around their eyes that's white. And I'm just going to color that right in there. And then I'm going to come down around the beak and right about there. Oops, I colored too close to the eye. Darn it, I was trying not to do that, but that's okay because we can take our color lifter and just carefully kind of take some color off there, just like that. Okay, so now, excuse me, I want to bring in some, I think I'm going to bring this down just a little bit more with the light Calypso Coral because I'm going to bring in some light Flirty Flamingo. I don't have the petal pink, so we're just going to have to make the Flirty Flamingo work for today, just like that. And now I'm going to do, let's do some light Granny Apple Green right up in here. See, our Pookie, he had some really bright green on him, and then he had some darker greens. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm going lights, trying to keep my lights and my darks so that I can keep blending and blending and blending. So now I've got my old olive, and I'm just going to come down, and I'm going to try to speed this up some because my intentions was to have one already done so that I could just kind of show you on one bird, but because of my mess up I forgot to do one ahead of time. Then I'm going to take some Bermuda Bay because our Pookie had a little bit of Bermuda Bay, some teal on him underneath his wings in the back side and the very tip of his wing. So I've got that on there. And now I'm going to bring in some dark Pool Party to blend this up and out a little. Just like that. And then I'm going to bring in some light Pool Party to kind of blend that up. All right, so now I'm going to come in with some light Old Olive and just kind of work my way down. And this is the only part that probably isn't going to get blended very well, is where the green and the pink meet. Okay, then I'm going to take my light Pool Party again and just kind of blend that in. Like so. Isn't that cool? And I'm also going to try to blend this. It'll change the color a little bit, but I am okay. There we go. So there. So what do you think? We're going to color the beak yellow. Our Pookie had kind of like a tannish yellow beak, probably like a So Saffron. Okay, so that's that one. So let's go ahead and quickly color this one here. This one, I'm going to do a little bit more of the red. And I got too close to the eye again, so let's try to clean that up some. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to come in with some light old olive. And I'm going to just come in right through here and right through here. Like so. And then we're going to bring in some Bermuda Bay down here at the bottom and just a little bit in his tail. And then up in here, like so. And then our dark pool party, and we're going to blend that up. Kind of blend in that tail a little. Just like that. And then I'm going to come in with some Granny Apple Green from down here. And then I'm going to do a little yellow. Let's do some Daffodil Delight right in here. Just like so. And I think I'm going to try to blend the green and the yellow just a little bit, if I can. I think that looks better. Okay, and then we are going to go with, let's go, I want to do some dark up here and some dark right in there. And then I'm going to hit it with some Pretty Peacock just right in here and right in here. Not much, just a little bit, just to give it a little bit more definition. I like that a lot. Okay, so I'm going to bring in some more Calypso Coral, and we're going to go ahead and make that part Calypso Coral. Just change it up a little bit. Okay, and I am going to take some yellow, which is going to change up the look of the Calypso Coral, but I am okay with that because that's kind of what I wanted to do. All right, so there we go. So let's go ahead and color his in. There we go. So we are done with this. So we're going to put this aside. Now what I need to do is I need to stamp using, I didn't tell you that the anniversary is, I pulled it from the Well Said stamp set, and I'm also using the Love from there too. So we've got that. I'm going to ink that up in some Calypso Coral as well. Try to stamp that straight. And then I'm going to run it through my Big Shot using the smaller heart from the dies. Aren't these beautiful? This was the one that I used on the card from Monday. The smallest heart in here. It's just a stitched little heart with the ruffles. We used that one. Then we used the two larger ones for our heart. Okay, so then I'm just going to center that on there and run it right through the Big Shot. Okay, and because of the magic of filming, I've already done that. Okay, so we've got that and we've got that. So let's bring in our Whisper White thick cardstock is what I'm using on this card. And let me see if I can get my bone folder and give it a nice crisp fold. I think I folded that straight. Yeah, I did. Okay. Now we've got our designer series paper, so we have the keys And then the back side of it is the flowers. Now I know that you could save designer series paper by cutting off a 2.5-inch strip, which is what this is. But I really didn't feel like trying to line it up and make sure that everything lines up and is straight, especially when I'm on camera. That just is not going to work for me. So I just decided to use the full sheet, and then I'm going to go ahead. I'm really nervous that it stopped filming again, so I'm probably about to poke my head up there and make sure that we're still filming. All right. And I'm just going to line that up right like that. And then we're going to flip it over and we're going to cut this right off. I always try to make sure that I cut just a little extra than what I really need so that I can trim it instead of trying, if I'm off like a hair, you're going to see it. And I don't like that. So I just always just cut a little more than I need and then I trim it. This side is so pretty too. I hate to cover it up, but we got a little bit of both here. So now I'm going to try to line this up. Keyword is try, especially looking up at it at an angle. Fun, fun. It is fun. Oops, it is very, very fun. And that is straight enough for me. Okay, so now we've done that. We need to bring in our pretty lovebirds. They're so pretty. And we're going to put some dimensionals on there. I hope I didn't take my dimensionals back to the other station. Oh, here we go. Okay, so we're going to put those on. Bloop, bloop, and bloop. All right. Now I feel like I've got a little silliness to me because filming this twice today. And I've done a lot of filming today with some things. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay, so I just put that on straight. And then we've got our love. We're going to put that on, but I'm not going to pop that up. I am just going to lay that down, straight down, just like so. And then somewhere around here, I do have my little bow that I pre-tied, and I don't see it. Well, don't you just hate that when that happens? It was sitting right there and it is gone. All right, so we'll just tie another one. It's not like it'll be a waste because when I find it, I'll use it on something else. So I'm just going to tie a double bow. So I've got 2 strands here folded over, and I'm just going to tie a little bow. I'm going to attempt to do this because every time I do this on camera, it always gives me a hard time. And I don't know why. I think it's because I'm trying to hurry so that the videos aren't too long. And I just kind of fumble with my chubby little fingers here. And okay, let's pull that. There we go. That's not too bad. I'm okay with that. Okay, so let's just kind of straighten it out. Make it the size we want it. Pull this around. If you hear that noise in the background, that's my puppy dog. She's sleeping and she snores. And she wanted to be in here with me, so she's snoring away. Silly puppy. She's really not a puppy. She's getting old. Very old, actually. Okay. Well, one side is a little longer than the other. I really did not want to take too long on a stinking bow. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and trim this. And we're going to take a glue dot and put the glue dot right on the back of that. Lift that up. And we're going to put that right there. And then we're going to bring in our bird ballad trinkets. And aren't these just sweet? You get, I'm going to put them in this lid so I can bring them up closer to you guys. You get a flower, a leaf, a bow, and the key, which is what we're going to be using. Aren't those just sweet? I really love them. Okay, so I'm going to put a glue dot on one of those, but I'm going to roll the glue dot just a little bit, and then I'm just going to stick that right on there. And we're going to put it right on our bow, right in the center of our bow. And then there is one thing that I did forget to do, so we'll have to run it through really quick. And that is, I did it for this card, but I didn't do it for this video. Okay, I need my happy, and I used the well said, well written dies that go along with the stamp set. If I can find it real quick. Happy, I think this is it right here. Okay, and then I'm going to run this through on some Calypso Coral cardstock. Real quick here. Good thing it's right behind me. And if I knew how to do editing, I could just edit some of this stuff out, but you're getting it not live, but you're getting it raw and real. How about that? Okay, I need my little pokey tool, so I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. Have you guys used this brush? This brush is amazing. I don't know why I'm sitting here poking it. There we go. So isn't that cool? I love that. And it's just a little attachment that fits onto your Take Your Pick tool. I almost called it your pokey tool. I got one little piece here that's being a tiny bit stubborn. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to take my mono liquid glue here and kind of just dab that on there. There are all different kinds of ways that you can adhere your little words to your cards and your projects. You can use glue dots and kind of roll them, and then that gives it like a little lift. Not as much as a dimensional does, but it still gives it a little lift. And then you can take a sponge and dip it in your glue and do it like that. I always forget I don't need the glue on the end because we're just going to go right across like so. There we go. So there's our card. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Oh, I'm sorry it was a little crazy today, but this was a second run through on this one. So I hope that you like it. And if you do, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have not already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you do. I would really love that, and I know YouTube does too. And also, check my blog out because I'll have a full description of this card on my blog. And down below in the description, I will also have my blog address, a place for you to sign up to get my emails, and my Facebook page where I go live every Tuesday nights at 7:30 and Fridays at noon on my group page, Let's Be Creative Together. So thanks so much, you guys. Have a wonderful day. Until next time.